Hello, everyone. It's Julia from the Paper and Ink Boutique. How are you doing? Thank you so much for joining me tonight for Monday Night Live. This is streaming on our Facebook page, the Paper and Ink Boutique. It's also streaming in our inspiration group, but it is also streaming live on our YouTube channel, which is where you'll be able to play this video back. So if you're not already a subscriber to our YouTube channel, you can go over to YouTube, search the Paper and Ink Boutique, give us a follow, and then you can find the playlist Monday Night Live, and you can go back and watch all of our previous episodes. This is episode 30, and tonight I am talking about basic gel plate techniques and how to create some amazing backgrounds. So what I'm going to do, good evening, everyone. Hi, Shelley. Hi, Elizabeth. Hi, Jennifer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to my overhead camera. So you got to give me a minute. I got to swing it into place here. And let me switch over to the overhead cam. There we go. Perfect. And let me just make some slight adjustments. There we go. Okay, perfect. Okay, so hello. Hey, Dana. Hi, Heather. Okay, so just in the last, probably 30 minutes or so, as I was waiting for Monday Night Live to start, I made all of these backgrounds with my gel plate. I was just sitting here and I was just playing. So I made all of these backgrounds in just 30 minutes. So are these completed? No, but they will go into my, I think it is a card keeper from, hi Julie, from Totally Tiffany. I keep all these backgrounds in there. And then once when I need a card, I look through my backgrounds and then I could add some stamping, more stenciling, a sentiment, and there I've got a card background. So yes, I made all of these just in the last 30 minutes, just playing with my gel plate, just waiting for you to join me. So yeah, lots of really great things I made. Loving some of these distressed looking ones. Love that. Hi, Lynn. Yeah, so some of them obviously that's not really finished, but you know what? I'll add some stamping, I'll add some stenciling to that, and that'll look great in no time. Love that one. That one's fabulous. I'll show you how I did that. Look, I used a stencil. I know you're probably shocked. There's another really great one. I like that one. Here's another good one. And I didn't do all of them on white paper. Some of them I did on craft. That just gives them a bit of a different look. So if you have a gel plate and you've never used it or you haven't used it in a long time, I do encourage you to just get it out. Like, look at those. Look at all those I made in just 30 minutes. Fabulous. And that was just me playing. No rhyme or reason to them. Just wanted to get the gel plate out and have a play. Okay, so I am using an 8x10 gel press from a gel printing plate from Gel Press. We carry a bunch of different sizes in the store. So I have the 8x10. You may notice this one off to the side. This one is part of the Ranger multi-pack. This is just one out of those. So I have this one as well. I'm going to have that one off to the side because I use it to kind of brayer off my paint. So we have so many different sizes of gel presses. Big, little, oval, circle. My favorite, which I'm not using tonight. Just a second, I need to straighten this out. There you go. Bothering me with it being a little off kilter. My favorite one is my 12x12 gel plate, but I'm not using that one tonight. But I love it if I'm making a scrapbook background. And yes, hey Dawn, how are you? The small ones, great for card makers. But these ones, the 8x10 is also good because you can use an 8.5x11 piece of paper. So you can fill that up and then you can cut that down into 4 A2 size cards. I do have the 12x12 gel plate and I love using that one in my really large art journals, but I will also use it to make scrapbooking layouts on scrapbook background. And yes, I do it for scrapbook layouts. I just love my gel plate. I actually haven't used it in a long time. So when I was trying to decide what to do, I thought I'm just going to use my gel plate because I haven't done that in a really long time. I'm just going to see if I can raise this up a little bit. Okay, there we go. I'm liking that. Okay, so this is an 8x10 gel plate. This one is, I don't know what this one is. Like I said, it's part of the Ranger one. And it is 3.5 by 6 3/4. Okay, so we're just going to start with some basics, okay? Oh, awesome. Yes, dust off your gel plate. It's so much fun. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, other than my gel plate, I do have a brayer. I've got my brayer here. What kind of 12x12 paper do I use with my gel plate? I use either the Creative Scrapbook or Super Stock. Actually, let me highlight your question, Dion. That's a great question. I use either the 12x12 Creative Scrapbooker Magazine Super Stock or the Vicky Bouton Foundations paper. Those are the two I use. How do I store my plates? I store them in the original container that they come in. And then in my Calyx system, they stand up in one of the sections. But I just keep the regular one. I'm sorry, my brain just stopped working. I keep them in the original packaging, the plastic packaging. Now, there is one from Ranger that will fit the 12x12, not the 12x12, the Ranger selection of them. Now, the Ranger one, give me a minute. Sorry, I had to scooch over to the other side of the room. This is the Ranger one I'm talking about. And they do have a gel plate storage tin that will fit this one. I don't, I just keep them in the original container. Yeah. And so this one comes with, let me open it up. It comes with this one here. It comes with this one, and it also comes with a round one. Yeah. Hey, Margaret, how are you? I hear we're going to see you in the store this week. I'm so excited. Okay, I'm going to close that up. I always make sure to keep the cover, the plastic coverings that come with them. I put them on the top and the bottom and put them back in the original. Yeah, back in the original packaging. Now, if you're wondering why this one is yellow, the reason why it's yellow is because it's been used with alcohol ink. So when you use alcohol inks on your gel plate, it will tint it yellow. There's no way to stop it. There's no way to clean it. If you use alcohol inks on your gel plate, it will turn yellow. There's no way around it. So maybe some of you are thinking, oh my gosh, I can use alcohol inks on my gel plate. Yes, you can. You can use sprays. You can use re-inkers. You can use inks. Tonight, my focus is strictly on acrylic paint, but there are many ways to use the gel plate with other mediums. Just give me 1 second. I just need to take a drink of water. Okay. Just going to set that aside. So yeah, there are other ways, other mediums you can use. Tonight, I am strictly talking about acrylic paint. Now, if you're wanting other information on the gel plate, there's tons of information available on YouTube. And I suggest going to Gel Press. I love their social media. They have got some amazing design teams, and their techniques are amazing. So search Gel Press on YouTube, their YouTube channel, amazing. Everything you need to know about gel press. Am I an expert on the gel press? I am not. I am just a person who loves to play. So, and a lot of these things I've learned over the years, but I am no expert. Okay, so maybe you just want to make just a simple background. What do you do? How do I put my paint on here And then what do? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick 3 colors of acrylic paint. I'm using Paper Artsy, but any acrylic paint will do. Some work better than others. I like Paper Artsy. I also find Dina Wakley works really good. There are other paints that don't work so well for me, but that could just be me. Like I said, I am no expert. I just prefer the Paper Artsy, but any acrylic paint will do. Okay, so I'm going to pick 3 colors: slimed, cerulean, and I need a yellow. Just give me 1 minute. I'm surrounded by my Paper Artsy paint, and haystack. Okay, so I'm going to start with these 3 colors: haystack, slimed, and cerulean. Cerulean is probably my favorite color. Is probably my favorite color of Paper Artsy. I just love it. Okay, so what am I going to do? You can take your paint. Oh, I was going to say, where's Ernan? Vernon. That's funny. Okay, you can take your paint and put drops directly on your gel plate. You can also put them on a separate plate and brayer them. Because I'm using 3 colors, I am going to just do 3 little dots of yellow. And I'm going to give you the advice that I give a lot of people in my classes. Sometimes less is more. You don't have to be heavy on the paint. Okay. And these, I would say, is maybe about like a pea size of paint in each of these spots. Oops. I didn't shake these ahead of time, so let me do that. 1, 2, and 3. Next, I'm going to take my brayer, and I'm just going to start brayering this paint. You don't need much. You really don't. Now I'm going to start working over in the blue, and I'm going to kind of work back and forth because I do want it to kind of mix. So you can see I've got the mix in there. Got something on there, so let me just take that off. And now I'm going to come into the green, and again, I'm going to work it back into the blue. There we go. How easy was that? That was great. I'm going to take my brayer, and I'm actually going to brayer it off on here. Next, I'm going to take an 8.5 by 11 sheet. Now, the paper that I'm using, this is 100 pound. This is the super smooth paper that we have at the store. It's 8.5 by 11. I'm going to lay it on that paint, and I'm going to take my pressure tool, and I'm just going to go over that entire thing and make sure everything is in that paint. Edge to edge and all the way through the middle. Okay, now the big reveal. I'm going to start peeling it back off my gel plate. Okay, there we go. Look how beautiful that is. Isn't that gorgeous? It's not Nina. Glenn, can you help me? Because my brain has gone blank. It is the, sorry, I cannot think of it. Oh, okay. Heather or Glenn? Hammermill. Yes, thank you. Sorry. Okay, it is the 100 pound Hammermill Super Smooth. We sell this at the store and I love it. Thank you. Before I left the store, I actually just went and I grabbed, I don't know what I grabbed. I think like 20 sheets or something. And I do have a whole stack of it sitting here beside me. Thank you. Thank you, somebody. Thank you. Okay, so there you are. Simple background, right? So simple, easy to do, amazing. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside so you can see my gel plate completely clean. I peeled that back, took off all the paint. Gorgeous, love it. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, I do have some stamps here with me. Just went over to my Paper Artsy stash of paints my Paper Artsy stamps, and I grabbed out Tracy Scott TS072. So this one here. I also grabbed a France Papillon. This one is, look, I've never even used it. This is a great way to like break in your stamps. Here, let me just open this up so I can show it to you. This one is FP029. Okay, so I've just got those here. I'm going to be using them. Let me just throw that in the ground, get that out of my way. Now the paint I put on here is completely dry. Don't freak out though, because we're going to be able to pull that off in just a minute. I will show you how to do that. I'm going to take a contrasting color, something across the color wheel from this. So let's choose something. I don't know. Let's go bold. Let's do. Oh, I had some paint. What did I do with it? Here we are. I'm going to use cerise. Okay. So I'm going to make sure I shake this up. Oh, you and me both, Heather. We both use this paper. Like it's amazing. I love it. Super smooth. Okay, so I put the cerise on here. I'm just going to spread it out. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this stamp here from that Tracy Scott stamp set. I'm going to dip it in that paint, and I'm going to come over and I'm going to apply it to my gel press. Okay. Now I'm just going to use my brayer, smooth that paint out again, keep picking up the paint. So we're basically stamping. We're basically stamping on our gel press. That's what we're doing. Okay, so what I've done so far is I've just kind of gone corner to corner. I'm not being too like crazy, you know, trying to keep everything. I just need one more stamp. So I'm going to smooth that paint out again. Pick that up. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to come back here with this, the one I first did. I'm going to flip it over. Going to make sure that everything is pressed down. And now I'm going to peel that back. And there I've added another layer to my pressed background. Is it perfect? No. Did I know that it wasn't going to be perfect? Yes, I did. But this is all about building up those layers. And right now I am loving what that looks like. The contrast is amazing. So all I'm thinking is that these are going to eventually be backgrounds for cards. Okay, I'm picking up some of that paint from this background here, and I'm applying it to my background. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, sorry, I need another, what do I want? Maybe purple? Let's do purple. Okay, so, you know, I did not clean my gel plate. We are just going to keep adding layers. So I'm going to spread out that purple paint, just a little bit there. I'm going to take a different stamp from that Tracy Scott stamp set. And again, I'm going to continue on. Okay. Going to bring my brayer back and just smooth out that paint again and keep picking up the paint. Gorgeous. Let's smooth that out one more time. Okay, fabulous. I'm loving it. Okay, let's smooth that paint out again. Going to put that aside. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let this paint dry. Now because it's on such Hashtag layers. That's right, Heather. Okay, so because this was put on fairly lightly, it should dry pretty quickly. But what I think I'm going to do is I think I'm going to keep adding just a little bit more. Nothing too crazy, but let's add in. I'm just looking at the stamp set. What do we have here? This one down here, circles. Now let me pick. I keep turning to the wrong side where all my bright colors are. Let's do maybe Twilight. So I'm going to put a little bit of, let me shake that up. You know me, I'm all about the layers. I love the layering. Okay, a little bit of paint on this side gel plate here. I'm going to smooth that paint out. And oops. Let's just add in a little bit of these. Oh, I'm loving that. That is fun. So I'm just going to keep just adding these to my gel plate. Okay, that looks good to me. Okay, now, whenever I teach a gel plate class and we're doing something like this, and I want to teach people so many things, I will use my heat tool to dry the paint. Now, a word of warning, you can damage your gel plate by taking a heat tool to it. So if you decide to do this, extreme caution, extreme caution. That's all I got to say, because you don't want to ruin your gel plate. I have done this a lot. Have I ruined a gel plate? Not yet. I'm sure at some point in my life it'll happen, but I have not done it yet. But the dry climate that we have here in Calgary, when you put these light layers on, they tend to dry very quickly. I do have some paint over here where it's a little bit thicker and I can see it's thicker. I am going to take just a smidge of heat, just a little bit. I'm not trying to cause any bubbles or anything. So if you are doing this, remember, very little heat, keep your heat tool missing, and don't get too close to the gel plate. Okay, so that is now clean, or not clean, dry. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab, I'm not going to print it on here, by the way. This is going to be a completely different background. I will be adding another layer to this one in just a minute. This is going to be a background all on its own. I'm going to use vanilla. So if you think of this in the reverse way, this is the paint. The last paint I put on is going to be the paint that's going to be on the bottom, the bottom layer. Okay. So let me just shake this out. Now, before I start that, I do need to clean off my brayer. So just give me a moment to wipe that paint off, because I don't want it mixing with the vanilla. Now, if I was at the store and I've got 7 different brayers, I wouldn't have to do this in between. But I'm at home and I only have 1 brayer. Yes, I love the Paper Artsy paint on my gel plate. Absolutely love it. And yes, you are absolutely right, Renee. This can be very addicting. And sometimes if I'm just looking to be crafty, but I'm not looking to create anything in particular, sometimes I just grab the gel plate out. I should use hand sanitizer, but I don't have any here in my craft room. Okay, there we go. Look, it's all clean. There we go. Sometimes I'll just get out my gel plate and my paints and just make a ton of backgrounds. Okay, clean gel plate, and I've got the vanilla paint from Paper Artsy. Okay, just going to make sure I shake that up. Now, you don't need a thick layer of this, but you do need to work quickly because you need to pull your print before your paint dries. Oh, wrong side of the brayer. Okay, so I'm going to brayer that paint over the entire background. I'm just going to brayer this paint off. I feel like I've got too thick of a layer, so let me brayer some of it off because I should still be able to see my print underneath. I should still be able to see some of that stamping. So I'm just rolling off some of the paint. There we go. Okay, time to grab another piece of paper. Put that down. Use that pressure tool, edge to edge, and everything in between. Now, the moment of truth, this is where I always hold my breath. Did it work? Okay, let me just peel this back. Oh my gosh, look at how beautiful that is. Oh, I love it. Gorgeous, and isn't that amazing? So will I use this like this? No, I'm going to cut this down into card backgrounds. Now, I have also used this in my art journal. Sometimes I just need, like, I don't know, sometimes I just cut out a couple of squares. Sometimes I will die cut out a sentiment, just something. But I usually keep these for card backgrounds. But look at how gorgeous that turned out. I am loving that. Love, love, love. Yeah, gorgeous. Okay, I'm going to set that aside. Now I'm going to, let's come back to this one. I'm going to add something to this one now. Okay, so let's do, I should see if I can pull this paint off this. I've got quite a few layers on here. Oh, somebody's asking, and I'm sorry, it just says Facebook user, so I don't know who this is. What size and brand of art journal do I use? You know, looking over at my shoulder, I've got about 12 journals right now. Ooh, look at that. So that was just to peel off this, just where I was letting my paint dry. That, I would totally use that to die cut a word out. Isn't that cool? Oh, I love that. Whew. Okay. My favorite art journal is probably any of the Dina Wakelys. Not all the Dina Wakelys. I love her square craft journals. Love them. The Diane Reevely. I love the square Diane Reevely. It's 8x8. And I also have her 8x10. Love that. But my most favorite one, and I'm sorry, I can't even show it to you because I left it at the store today, is the Art by Marlene Perfect Size Journal because it's a ring bound. I love that one. That one's my favorite right now, but I use a lot of different art journals. I've got several different, like just, you can't see it, but over my shoulder, I've got a bookcase, and 1, 2, 3, 4, I've at least a dozen journals up there, different sizes, different companies. Okay, so now I'm going to add something to this. What do I want to do with this? Well, let's grab out, I am getting paint everywhere. Let's do, I am going to do this. I think that'll work. So this is a paper artsy stencil, PS309. Sorry, I don't know if we still have this one in stock. I'm actually going to lay that down on there for right now. I'm going to do another technique, but what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just squeeze out some paint. This one's a dark blue. And I'm also going to use Have I mentioned I've got like 200 colors? Not 200, a lot though, a lot of colors. I think I've got like 160 colors of paper artsy paint. It is not easy to choose a favorite. Okay, so right now I'm just brayering paint randomly over this stencil. 2 different blues. There we go. Okay, now I'm not going to use the pressure tools for this. I'm actually going to use my fingers because I'm using a stencil. I need it to get down into that stencil. There we go. Added another layer. Gorgeous. Oh my gosh, I'm so loving this. Perfect. Oh, I love this. Look how beautiful that is. Okay, I'm going to set that one aside because I want to show you another technique before time runs out. Okay, I'm going to peel that up. Now I'm going to grab this stencil here. So this is one of the, and I was using this one. I'm going to be paying for this later because I'm going to be scrubbing that black paint off that stencil layer because I was too lazy to do it earlier. I'm going to take Little Black Dress. It's a black paint from Paper Artsy. And I'm going to put a layer of it over the entire back of this stencil. Okay. There we go. Okay, now I am going to take, what do I want to do? This one, I was just rolling paint off on this one, so it's really nothing special. So, nope, I don't want to do that. Sorry, I want to put my stencil down first. Okay, stencil down first. I'm going to take this piece of paper, which I just rolled my paint off. Yes, the scrubby soap is amazing. You know, Renee, I was actually going to show you the bubble wrap, and I had a container of bubble wrap here at one point, but I opened up the container, it was empty. So I've got probably, you know, a football field size of bubble wrap at the store, and you think I would have thought to bring some, and I didn't. But bubble wrap is fun. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to pick up the black paint from the negative parts of the stencil. So you can see I picked that up. I would totally use that. That right there, that looks like a card background to me. This part right here, I would totally use that. Oof, love that. Okay, I'm just going to take another sheet of paper and I'm just going to do one more. Perfect. Okay, that was not ruined. I'm going to do a print on the back. Now, if you do want to clean up a little bit more of this paint, you can come in with a baby wipe and just clean up more of that paint. So you can take your time. Remember, do not remove your stencil. Do not remove the stencil. Leave it there. So I'm not going to worry about all these little bits. I'm just going to clean up just these big spots here. There we go. Perfect. Now the baby wipe did leave a little bit of moisture, so I'm just going to go over that with a paper towel and I'm going to pick that up. Wonderful. Good, good, good. Okay. So what have I done? Gel plate. I have got the black paint, put my stencil on top, and then I pulled off the black paint that was in the negative space. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick some colors. Let's go back to Cerise. And again, I am going to need to get more brayers at home. This one brayer is not making me happy. course, at a class, when I'm done, then I have like 7 dirty brayers I have to clean. Okay, let me just finish wiping that out. Wonderful, wonderful. There we go. Let's pick up that cerise. And now I'm going to come and I'm going to brayer this color over top of that stencil. Okay, that's looking good. Now I could do like 2 or 3 colors, but I just wanted to keep it kind of simpler. I'm going to bring this one back in. Remember, I used this to clean that out. I am going to now need to peel off our stencil very carefully. There we go. Let's expose that. And before I do a pull, I'm actually going to let this dry, and we're going to cover it in another paint, and then we will do a pull. Okay. So let me just use my heat tool. Again, be very careful. If you're using a heat tool with a gel plate, just be very careful. All you're trying to do is make sure that your paint is no longer shiny, that it goes kind of a matte look. Then you know it's dry. And I always kind of tip my head to the side and kind of look, and I can see where it's still wet. Okay. Yes, any heat tool would work. Yep. Okay, so I'm looking and just got a couple of spots here that are still wet. I am impatient. You are right. Yeah, well, normally if I'm doing this, I have got several different gel plates. So I will usually have several on the go as I'll do this, and then I'll set it aside and I'll bring in another one. I'll start and then I'll set it aside, and then I'll kind of rotate through. But I'm not doing that tonight. So that's another reason why I have several gel plates, is because I'm impatient and I need things to happen now. I don't have time to wait. Okay, so this is all dry. So now I'm going to go back to vanilla. I don't know, I use white, but I like this vanilla color. I don't like the stark white. I like kind of the yellow look. That's just personal preference. Okay, don't add as much paint this time, Julia. Don't do that. Just going to wipe most of that pink paint off my brayer. I took a class in gel plate printing from Fran at Stampendous many years ago. Like, I couldn't even tell you how long ago, like forever ago. That is how I got into gel printing. And I actually, at the time, was not doing mixed media. I was a scrapbooker and card maker, and I could not understand why I was doing this. I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever done. Why am I doing this? This is stupid. And look at me now. Okay, so I'm just going to brayer that paint. I'm going to make sure that there's not too much on there. Perfect. Okay, next I'm going to bring in, remember this one was just I'm going to print it on the good side. Oh yeah, Vicky's class is really good too. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to give that a press. Sorry, I was just looking for my pressure tool. Couldn't find it because it was right in front of my face. Okay, the moment of truth. This is where Julia starts to hold her breath and think, oh, yeah. Oop. Let me peel it up from this side. There you go. My paper did tear a little bit in there. That's all right. I still like it. What I will probably do is cut this down into card fronts, but this would also make a really good scrapbook page layout. And I would probably do that. I would probably do a focal point over top of that. Nothing is ever ruined. Look at that. Ugh, love it. So cool. I love using the yellow as a background because it's a nice, I don't know. I just like it. I like it better than a stark white. I don't know why. It's just very soothing to me, the yellow. And oh, I love the texture of it too. You can feel the texture from the stencil. But look at that. Isn't that fun? Oh, that's so much fun. Okay, I'm going to clean that up because that's actually paper on there. So I'm going to clean that up. There we go. Perfect, perfect. Okay. So another easy way to make, I'm frozen. Yes, right, Heather. It's always creative opportunities. Exactly. Okay. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take another easy way to do a background. And I think it was where it had stuck. I think the paint was still too wet. I think that's what it was. Yeah. Because I'm pretty sure it was still too wet. Yeah. But again, Julia's not a patient person. Okay, I am going to take a little bit of that vanilla. I'm going to take some haystack. Okay. And there was one other color I wanted to grab. Hang on. I'm thinking of not butter. Where is it? Oh, ochre. There we go. Now this one I want kind of the random colors, and you can easily over mix your paint. It's very easy to over mix it. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of going and I'm just kind of spreading that paint out, but I'm trying not to over mix it because I still want to be able to see kind of those 3 different colors of yellow. Now, because I have wet paint on here, I think I'm just going to try and pull those colors off of this second gel plate that I've got going on here. So just give me a moment. Ooh, that's interesting. Too much paint on there, obviously. Creative opportunities. Ooh. Oh. Okay. Set those aside. Those are just fun things. Okay, so I've got these colors. Now I'm going to take a piece of paper. This is the 1x10. I'm going to smooth it on here. I'm just going to do a quick background of the yellow. Okay. Great. There is a fantastic background. I love that. There you are, the 3 different colors of yellow. I'm going to set that there because I'm going to do something on top of it. So now what I am going to do, I'm going to clean up my brayer. Yes, you can stamp over them. Yeah, and I do that. On these backgrounds, I will stamp over them. I will do stenciling over top of them. You bet. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to come back. I really have no idea what I want to do. I've got so many things here. I think I might do some leaves. That looks like that'd be fun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab coral. I'm going to grab, what's this one? Terracotta. And I'm going to grab, I need a green. No, not limelight. Let's grab magic moss. So I've grabbed those three colors, magic moss, terracotta, coral. Okay. So I'm going to add, some stamping. I just got my paper artsy paints all organized, and now they're all over my work surface again. Okay, I'm going to stamp. Now, could I take this and stamp it directly on there? Yes, I could. I could totally do that. But I'm going to build up a layer of stamped images. Okay. Have to work quick with these, mostly because we are in such a dry climate that very little paint dries very quickly. So there's one layer of those leaves on there. Loving that. Next, I'm just going to take, there's just very little paint on here, and I'm just going to add it. Not a whole lot. Next, I'm going to take the magic moss. There we are. Maybe a little bit more paint. There we go. Here's another leaf stamp. This may not show up too great on the screen because there are very light images. And like I said, I am trying to work quickly because I don't want this paint to dry on me. There we go. Let's put that on there. Pressure tool, because we want to make sure that everything is in contact with that gel plate. And there's that. So you can see that next layer of leaves. Oh, loving how this is turning out. Okay, next I'm going to brayer that green and I'm going to add it to my gel plate. Remember, it's all about adding the layers. Okay, next we're going to go to the terracotta. I haven't used this one in a while, so I should probably shake her up. There we go. Okay, I'm going to go back to the large leaf. Okay, there we go. I'm going to go back to the smaller leaf and do the same thing. Oops. Okay, now let's take this and again, remember, it's all about the layers. It really is. It's all about the layers. Do not be afraid. Like if you've got a gel plate and you haven't used it because you're scared, don't be afraid. Get it out. Use it. You're not performing open heart surgery. It's just a piece of paper and some paint. And there we go with that third layer. Oh, I just love the distress look. I love the crispy paint look. I just the layers of it is just so gorgeous, right? Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to just brayer that on. I'm not going to add any more layers to that. I love this the way it is. So I'm going to stop there. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to like mess it up. Now I do have these that I was doing pulls off of here off of. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to lay these on and I'm just going to do some pulls. This one too. My paint is already starting to get a little bit dry, so I'm not getting much off, but I'll show you how to clean your plate off when you're done. I don't know, not liking that. It's starting to look a bit muddy to me, but I'll put it down there. I could use it for something. Okay, so I'm going to now go back to my vanilla paint. Actually, before I do that, let's clean off this brayer one more time. Okay, so usually at the end of me playing with my gel plate, I do one final pull to kind of clean it off. It's kind of like the, let's clean off all the paint that we've left on there. So I've got a bunch of paint on here. I've got a bunch of paint on this one. Don't know if you can see both of them. There we go. So both of these have paint on them. And they're both dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit of vanilla paint. First of all, I'm going to find some paper that I'm going to use this with. Here we are. So I've got a piece of paper that I'm going to use here. And I'm going to grab another 8.5 by 11 to use here. Now, just popped into my head. I have used stencils, but another hint is you can use die cuts. Maybe you've got some lovely dies you haven't used in a while. Die cut them out, and you can also lay them on your gel plate in the sense of like a stencil. And those are fun too. And then when you've got those die cuts, and you lay them and you peel them up, and now they've got some beautiful paint on them, save them, use them in your art journal, put them on a card background, put them on a scrapbooking layout. There are very few things that I ruin and can't use from my gel plate. I always find a way to use it. And it's also a great way to just be creative. Okay, so let's get a nice thin layer of paint on there. Okay, no, I feel like I have too much paint. So I'm actually going to take this one, the back of this one, and I'm just going to brayer off my paint because I feel like I got too much paint on there. Now, this is kind of a lesson I learned as I was playing with my gel plate more, is to know when you have enough paint. 9 times out of 10, I usually end up with too much paint, so I have to brayer some off, which is what I did there. Yes, you can use both sides of your gel plate. You absolutely can. Okay, I'm going to lay that on there. I'm going to lay that one on here. Yep, you can absolutely use both sides. Okay, so I'm hoping this is going to be my clean pull, which means I'm going to pull up all of those layers of paint that have built up over the last hour, and I'm going to pull it, and then my gel plate will be clean. That is the hope anyhow. Okay, so let's pull this up. So far looks good. Wonderful, look at that. So that you can still see all those colors that I did on my last gel print, and I'm still getting some images of those leaves. Gorgeous. So there you go. There's both of them. This was the original one. And then this is the one I just did as my clean pull to clean off my gel plate. And look at that. Look how clean that is. Perfect. Okay, so now let's do this one. This one doesn't look like it's going to work as well. Oh, it's still peeling quite a bit of paint off there. And that was a lot of paint. There you go. Love that. That is still very cool. Love it. Yeah, I would totally cut that out and I would use it in my art journal. I would cut this out and I would put that on an art journal page. And it would make a great focal point anchor. Love that. Love it. Love it. You're right. It actually does look like torn wallpaper. Yeah, and it does totally look like that. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Okay, so that one didn't clean off as well, but that's all right. I'll just take a baby wipe to that and clean that up. This one cleaned up really well. Okay, so I'm going to pull back in. Just going to move this out of the way. Just some of the things we made over the evening. This was the clean pull. This was the clean pull off my gel plate, which let me say, I don't know, but that one I think is my favorite. And that one I wasn't even trying to do anything. This one, I love this one too. Oh, that is so much fun. Oh my gosh. Again, this was just me cleaning off a gel plate. Here we are. There's that one using the stencil. Very cool. This one, building up some layers with some stamping on the gel plate, as well as doing the stencil, pulling through the stencil. That looks cool. This one I actually did earlier. I was just cleaning off my gel plate. Oh, I forgot about this one. That one was cool too. So yeah, these I will end up cutting into A2 size card backgrounds. They're going to go into my stash. And when I need a card, all I have to do is pull through, pick out one, maybe ink the edges up, add a sentiment, maybe a few jewels, and there you go. I've got a really easy background. So if you've got a gel plate and you've never used it, I do suggest grabbing that thing out, dusting it off, and having fun. Grab out your paints. Like I said, you can also use your sprays. You can use alcohol inks. And we've done several classes of all of those techniques throughout the years at the Paper and Ink Boutique. But go to YouTube, search gel plate or mono printing, something like that, and you will see some really great techniques. I just barely even scratched the surface of the joy I get from my gel plate. So grab it out if you've got one. Have fun, have a play. And if you are playing with your gel plate and you create something beautiful, share it in our inspiration group, because I would love to see it, as well as the rest of our inspiration group members. Have a great evening, everyone. It's been fun. I'll be back next Monday with another free demo. Have a great evening. Bye.